Okay, I'm back. My beautiful blonde hair is back. So living my life as a music producer at first and now venturing into the world of being a business producer, really getting, I guess, the best takes and the best art and the best everything out of incredible business owners from 7 and 8 figures all over the world. I have, again, a front row seat to this. And the things that I'm finding, the difference between the top 0.01%, in terms of monetary success, and honestly, just enjoyment, and those who are still kind of struggling, I wouldn't venture to say that it's some sort of mechanical framework or anything like this. After observing what's been going on in my work lately, I've realized the importance of something called taste. Now, in taste, this subject of taste, I think this comes up obviously with food, right? Like, how do things taste? I got my electrolytes here, my salt water. I literally only eat meat, so I got to supplement with all this salt. Another story, another time. You think of taste as like literally what you're tasting, right? But then you go, okay, what is taste? It's basically like your style or your originality or your vibe or something like this. And, this is like when people want to go design homes or something, they hire like an interior designer. Or you want to design your office space, so you'll hire, like, again, an interior designer. Or even like an architect. Or if you're just redoing your website or whatever. What you're actually searching for there is either, can I find somebody who can execute on my taste and what I see and what I enjoy? Or can I outsource somebody else's taste because I don't have any, essentially? And, okay, why are we talking about taste and business and entrepreneurship? Again, I have a front row seat as a business producer to all these 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs all over the world. There's a difference. The people crushing it, really destroying in the marketplace and having an incredible time doing it. All the founders or the team members or the company or the mission, vision, and values of the company, they're all centered around their taste. Okay, and so I've seen this in the music world where the best artists that really performed in the studio were those that weren't going after a certain sound that somebody else was producing, but it was literally like, I have something in my head, I know what I like, and I want to produce it. And seeing those artists, those visionaries, those people, while they may not have been the greatest executors or performers or musicians or whatever, they were rewarded because they had good taste, okay? So, again, what is taste, especially when it comes to the business world? Well, we all kind of see this, right? There are people who, let's go in my world a little bit, people that are making serious amounts of money in whether it's a publicly traded company or just an individual solopreneur, everybody in between. What does taste look like for them? What is it, okay? This is stuff like, what's your style? What's your offer? How does your website look? How do you conduct yourself? What's the feel, right? All of these things that sort of like come to the surface. That's what taste is. It's kind of like a feeling, okay? So I want you to kind of enter into this. Maybe you're like a fellow entrepreneur or something like this. I want you to ask yourself, and I'll get into like personally what my taste is and how I curate it and what I see with everybody else. But I would just ask you, do you have any taste? Do you have any originality? Do you know what you like? Do you know what you dislike? Are you that in tune with what you like and dislike when it comes to taste, okay? So I'll give you just like a very simple example of taste. Music, okay? You just play it and you go like, do you like it or not, right? And so literally I know people who they'll play music and they don't even know if they like it or not, These are people who don't have, maybe they have taste, but they just don't know what they like or dislike, right? So they don't know how to curate their taste, essentially. But even on a common human level, I would argue that some people need to go search and discover their taste. So they'll like look at different homes. Like I'm looking in my neighborhood. This is like an organic geometric home designed by an architect I really like, and I'll get into that later. And, you know, there's no drywall here. It's literally all wood and some brick on the fireplace. Like literally every square inch is wood or glass or whatever. And it's like nestled in the forest and I can see the ocean. But right next door is like a Spanish style Adobe looking mansion thing with it's kind of like a blend of like Mexican and Italian architecture in one. Over there's like a really modern home, you know, like one of those boxes. Up here is like a Tudor style home, like built in the 20s or 30s or something like this. Probably the 30s or 40s now that I think about it. Anyways, that's what I mean is like it shows up all over the place, whether it's architecture or sound or art or something like this. And I think most business owners or people who navigate their entrepreneurial world, they overlook this acquired skill that I believe if you just curate your taste, you'll be way more successful. So that's what taste is. I'll give you sort of my taste, okay, and how I curate what I like, what I dislike. And again, I'm going to get into like how this applies to your market, selling things, building a big business, building a small business, whatever in the world you're doing. Got to get the electrolytes in. Essentially, I look at taste as a sensory experience, okay? Now you think of taste, it's like, okay, literally tasting. But taste can be developed through your sensory experience, okay? So this is like sounds, how things look, how things feel, okay? So I'll give you a little bit of my taste, and I'm not going to say my taste is good or bad, or that you should have my taste, or do you like my taste, do you not like my taste? I'm just sharing with you what my taste is, and then getting into how I've curated that taste, and then again, how it applies to not only my business, but identifying these incredible entrepreneurs I'm working with, and how they have incredible taste, and I'm advocating for them to bring that taste more and more into the marketplace so they can make more money and make more impact, right? So, I don't know, mine is anything that that hits the nail on the head when it comes to how things sound or looks or feels, essentially. And I know what I like and I know what I dislike. And I'll go, I guess the first step to go, like, is there anything in my life that does all of that, like has one thing, but that does all of that? So it sounds the way I want it to sound. I like how it looks, and I like the way it also feels when I use it. So it's like a utilitarian approach as well. You know, all three of those things, essentially, like maybe a car is a good example. So I have a few different cars, and one of them is like a newer 911. Okay, I'm not trying to flex or anything. I'm just saying I like the 911. But I've realized more and more that like, what am I getting at by driving that thing or having that? Well, it like sounds cool. It's got the engine in the back, this flat six, right? It like looks beautiful. Like I don't know any car that looks like those things anymore, you know? Like here in La Jolla, all I see are like Cybertrucks and Teslas. I miss like the bug-eyed, childish looking craftsmanship, right? Anyways, I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just that's what I like. And then it feels great, like driving it around, right? And so I thought to myself, like, how do I get more of that? So now I'm all interested in this old air-cooled Porsche from 1978 that I'll probably get. I'm not quite sure yet. But I like how that thing, like, sounds. I don't, again, I'm not going to explain why or why not I like it or why it's good or bad, but I know what I like, right? I like how it sounds. The engine's in the back. It sounds older. I don't know anything else that sounds like that. Everything's this like weird electric hum all over the place. I like how it looks. I literally can't find anything that like goes back in time and you look at it and go like, that's aged appropriately, you know? And I like how it feels. I like the mechanical nature. You have to, you know, stick shift, slow things down. And I guess you could add, I like how it smells too. Like, I don't know anything else that like brings all those things together. So that's like one example of all of these senses coming together. I'm sure you could think of other examples. But then you can sort of combine these things. So like maybe they only have one or two of them, like how it looks, or like just how it feels, or maybe just how it sounds. Like obviously sounds is just music. Okay. Do you know what you like when it comes to sounding things, right? What about looks? Like maybe just art, like just how it looks. Then there's art that like combines looking and feeling. So maybe it's like three-dimensional or textured or something. But I've realized there's so much of this in my life that I'm trying to curate and get really good at like, what is my taste, okay? And so I've done some things that like appease my taste essentially. And like I'm thinking my apartment in New York, every square inch of it is either brick or I plastered it with like, not necessarily Venetian plaster, but kind of like that, like plastered texture, because I'm in the city and I want it to feel organic, And I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying that's what I like, okay? You may not like it. I don't care. It's fine. I just know what I like, and I'm trying to aim for that sort of sensory protection. I'll get into, by the way, why I think people optimize for sensory comfort, and I'm kind of teasing at it a little bit. I'll get into that a little bit. But yeah, like I'm thinking of that, like that thing. Also in that apartment, I have like linen everything. Like I wear like linen pants. I like how those feel. I'm sure I can think of many things. Like for the house, for example, I know my taste. Like it's in the forest, so I hear the birds all the time. I hear the wind in the trees. I can see it, so it's like this geometric thing. Again, you might be thinking like, where are you going with all this? Like, you're just telling me what you like and dislike. Yeah, you got to curate your taste, and I'll translate it into business world as well. And I can see the beach. It's all wood. Okay, so now we're getting into like the sounds, right? Getting into looks, and then the feeling. I like literally never wear shoes. I feel the wood everywhere. I mean, every square inch of this place is wood or brick, and it makes me feel a certain way. Okay, like comforted. Yeah, that's basically it. And I just always think about how to optimize my taste. And that's that like air-cooled Porsche that I really want. I think I could park it in the living room if I really tried. There's like 2 double doors. I could probably back it in if I wanted to get that. And I'm like thinking like, oh, if that was there, how would that make me feel? All this stuff. Maybe this sounds weird, and it definitely is. But I'll say this. It's everywhere. I mean, you have to be so in touch with your taste and what you like, what you don't like, because the next move I'll make is eventually getting into how it applies to the market and how to be rewarded for your taste, okay? But you have to know where it all comes from. I'm like literally looking everywhere. Like this little candle thing that was gifted to me. I love the feel of it. I love how it looks. I love how it smells. I love these windows. I love the wind, feeling the wind. It's. I know this is kind of weird. But I know what I like, and I know what I don't like, and I'm constantly striving for not what is the latest trend, and you'll start to pick up why this is important when it comes to marketing, business, entrepreneurship, is I'm not following the latest trend. I'm not looking for other people's tastes. I'm not trying to copy anybody. I am just on a quest to search for what I like, what I dislike, why I like it, why I don't like it, and develop and curate that taste, because I've seen it be useful for me and for other businesses that I work with and artists if I'm working in the studio and so forth. It just makes a ton of sense if I just focus on taste, okay? Speaking of taste, got to get the electrolytes in. Okay. Now, think about how taste shows up in business, okay? On a very surface level, we're talking like branding. Like, what does your website look like? What does your landing page look like? Everything communicates that, right? So you're starting to get a feel for this. There's things to appease your taste, and then there's, but will the market appreciate my taste? That's the big question. this is really the conversation now, okay? So taste when it comes to branding, websites, think of things like your products or your services, whatever you're selling. Does it feel a certain way? Are you creating products? Do you care about how it looks? Do you care about how it sounds? Think about offers. Like if you come in hot with some really aggressive offer or something, and it's like, what does it do if it doesn't set right? It puts a bad taste in somebody's mouth. In terms of how you conduct yourself, like, are you getting on the phone? Are you getting on Zoom? All that stuff. Like, are you putting a bad taste in somebody's mouth? Are you appeasing your own taste? So you got to think about all this stuff. Like for me, I wanted to make a genuine connection with people that I literally can't meet. I like have no idea who you are, right? And I didn't want to put anything between us. And I love novelty, and I love novelty, right? So for me, like being in the music production world, I love sounds and audio and like tech a little bit, right? And so I've got a microphone that you cannot see, but I sound good, and that excites me. And I've got a camera that looks good, and the combination of those things make me feel good. I'm kind of bringing you into my world a little bit here, and I'm not trying to put a barrier in between us. So for me, that curates my taste, and I think it gives you a little bit of insight as to, yeah, like you can feel what I'm feeling and like it or dislike it. I don't care. It's just, this is who I am, and this is what I'm doing. Electrolytes. And that's basically it. So there's that sort of thing. And then there's like your pricing, your products, when you're handing things over to clients, or like your SOPs, if you're selling like courses or something, if you're doing done for you services, whatever it may be, like, are you integrating your taste into it whatsoever? And it shows up in weird ways. Like maybe you're just like a utilitarian person, okay? And the way you deliver results for your clients are through like maybe Loom videos or chicken scratch, like notes that you like kind of hand back and forth. There's all these opportunities and ways for you to show your taste, okay? And it speaks pretty clearly and loudly if you're unaware or aware of what your taste is. So for example, let's say you are somebody who like you sell, I don't know, a $30,000 or $40,000 done for you product, and it's good for a few months and people interact with it, and most of it, the delivery is through videos or something like this, or a couple calls with you. Well, let's say that's the price, okay? And let's say the offer is very utilitarian, like I'm going to get in and fix your sales team or something like this, okay? Very practical, utilitarian. We're already curating a taste here. We're creating a little world. We've developed a feeling around price. We've developed a feeling around the offer, okay? So it's this $30,000, $40,000 utilitarian tool kit. And then it's this sales fixing thing. So it's very utilitarian. And then you deliver with these Loom videos. Let's say the Loom videos are very cut and dry, rough. You know, they're not pretty like this video or anything like this. Let's say something like this, or it's like quick voice memos here and there. You know, what does that communicate? Again, it's not good or bad, and it's not like don't do that or do that. I know that communicates a certain taste to that individual, but on both sides, which is regardless of what you say, how it feels and the taste around this is a utilitarian thing that I'm interacting with. It's all about just surgical, get in, get out, toolkit, usefulness, objectives, you know, this kind of stuff. Where on the other end of things, let's say that you are somebody who is, I'm trying to think of the opposite, like somebody who kind of charges based off of just value that you provide to somebody, and it's kind of flexible, and the way that you feel through that, I'm kind of hinting at this, is through an experience, I'm thinking of like a spa or something like this. Or I've stayed at like really great hotels overseas and stuff, where you kind of walk in and like it's all about the experience, the sensory overload. It's not utilitarian. It's not how much can you get out of this in terms of usefulness. It's like you're supposed to feel a certain way. And in some of those hotels that I like staying at, they don't talk about money. I've noticed it. Like, I was in Italy in September last year. We stayed at this like incredible 5-star hotel. And I noticed the menus didn't have any prices on them. And when we asked for a car to go somewhere, they didn't say how much it would be. That was a choice. They're trying to eliminate, again, good or bad, they're trying to eliminate money from the equation because it's kind of taboo to talk about it. And they're assuming that the people there don't care about it, right? So imagine if their whole vibe was that and this sort of sensory experience, but they said, like, yeah, we can order you a car, but it's going to be $200. Is that okay? It would diminish the taste that they've acquired for themselves and the taste that I believe that people are going in there with, right? They're thinking about their taste through that, okay? Anyways, these are just some examples of just what these things are. So, again, it's sounds, looks, feels, the sensory experience. Now, leading with a little bit more of a philosophical approach to this before I get into the practical aspects of business is I believe that this taste experience thing and the application of this, it's scratching at, I've said this before in a few different sort of avenues I've expressed this in, is there's truth, there's goodness, and then there's beauty. It's sort of the three things that people need checked off the box in order to be convinced of something, in order to move into a space that they're unfamiliar with, or to embrace fully. You can think about this with anything. Should I marry this person? Should I take this job? Should I say yes to this religion? I mean, you can get like really deep with it. What are these things that are attractive to people? Well, now we're getting into client acquisitions, okay? Attracting clients. You can talk all day about the mechanical structures and frameworks about attracting a client, lowering your cost to acquire a customer retention, lifetime value of a customer, all that stuff, work out all the ratios, et cetera, or you can just cut through it and think about what actually attracts people to things and curate your taste and think deeply about goodness, truth, and beauty, okay? So truth, especially in the marketplace, is this offer good? Yes, okay, maybe not, but some people care about, is it too good to be true? Will it work? Are they legit? All these things sort of come into play when convincing somebody or attracting somebody to your offer, okay? Is it true? Is it good? Is it gonna be applicable to me? Is it gonna work? So it gets a little pragmatic. Is it like irresistible or like something I want to say yes to based off of how beneficial it will be for me? Is it gonna be practical? Is it gonna be helpful? This is the more Loom video approach. Is it good? But I think the underserved or underlooked one in most aspects of life is beauty. Is it beautiful? And I don't mean this sniper focus Loom video sales offer thing, like that needs to be beautiful. I'm not saying it does or does not. It's just, are you aware of these things, okay? I will say that beauty, I believe, is the thing, and this is my taste, this is what I think, you can agree with it or not, I think you lead with beauty. Is it good? Is it helpful? Is it true? Is it going to work? Of course that needs to be in place. But the human heart, in my judgment, is convicted or is won over or is turned over or says yes to something. What is that touching on? It's somebody's will. It's their ability to commit to something. It's saying yes to something. It's deep down. Yes, is it going to work for me? Deep down, is it too good to be true? Yes. There's nothing deep down about those things in particular, but there is something deep down into, do I want this? Yes or no? And I believe you can only reach that part of somebody's heart if you are in touch with your own development of beauty and or their own development of beauty? And can you even curate an experience that leads with beauty? Okay. A little philosophical here, but very philosophical now that I think about it. A fantastic theologian and author that I love, Van Balthasar, he actually has developed, I think it's like 15 or 16 books, 13, I can't remember. It's sort of a trilogy of truth, goodness, and beauty. He argues for this. He says that focus on the beauty and leading people with that, and then the truth and the goodness are the sort of rational check off the boxes in order to justify these things that you're feeling. And I believe this is true in business. Out of his entire series that he writes upon, Truth, Goodness, and Beauty, and he's in the realm of theology and philosophy and so forth, he spends most of his time speaking about beauty because of just how incredibly and severely important it is, okay? I don't know if it was him or a commentator who said this about this, but he said that beauty is, and this is more of a architectural church move here, is beauty is the narthex of the sanctuary. I'm sorry. Truth and goodness, they are the narthex of the sanctuary, but the real sanctuary is beauty. And so what he means by that, just to translate this, is, the narthex is if you see this ginormous, beautiful church, I'm sure, especially if you live in Europe, you know what I'm talking about, these Gothic cathedrals or stuff like this. The narthex is after you enter the front door, this sort of lobby area. That's cool. You can enter in there and experience it. Okay, this is cool. He argues that truth and goodness live in the narthex. Okay. But what gets you to open up the second set of doors? Okay. So the first set of doors, it's where people chatter. Okay. This is where people like to hang out. They talk a little bit. The bathrooms are there. I'm thinking of Carnegie Hall, for example. You walk in and it's beautiful for sure. Absolutely. You can't doubt the red carpet and the beauty of the Art Deco experience inside. It's beautiful. Everybody's dressed up, right? In Carnegie Hall in New York. Everybody's chit-chatting, but it's not until you enter into the auditorium, or in this case, the sanctuary, things change. You open up the second set of doors, people lower their voice. They know that they're in a sacred place. So the narthex prepares them to enter into the sanctuary. The lobby prepares them to enter into the auditorium. The front entryway of my home prepares them to enter into the sanctuary of my office. Think about these things when it comes to marketing. You have top of funnel, you have middle of funnel, you got your YouTube channel, you got all your ads, right? I'm thinking of all my 7 and 8 figure entrepreneurs that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month marketing themselves. This is the narthex of their offer. What are they doing? They're leading with truth and goodness. Irresistible offers, offer too good to say no to. Irresistible ways of communicating on the front end, capturing their attention, all these stuff. They're focusing on the goodness of here's my incredible thing, and the truth is, and here's all my testimonies to back it up. But perhaps they aren't considering the beauty of how they're coming across. Is there something soothing about what they're saying? Is it not just useful, okay? And you got to be thinking about this, because as you enter through this church sanctuary, right, you have to enter through the narthex. Goodness and truth get people in the door, okay? But it doesn't win them over. You need beauty. A friend of mine, incredible marketer, his name's Aaron. He's the president of 7 Mile Media. Fantastic marketer. He's actually like a real marketer. Spends so much money on advertising for his clients each month. It's like in the millions each month. He says, sell the sizzle, not the steak. There's something to that. I think that's sort of the the marketing way of saying, truth and goodness is the narthex of the sanctuary, and beauty is the sanctuary. His way of saying is sell the sizzle, not the steak. And so what I'm trying to do is capture all of this and curate it to you to think about this as taste. Beauty is taste. Taste is beauty. Why do I ultimately think beauty is the thing that captures the hearts? Well, if I know that if somebody's going to say yes to an offer, or say yes to a person, or give you loads of money, or give you their time and attention. Yes, you need truth and goodness, but ultimately they need their wills, that is their decision to say yes to it, right? You can smack them over the head with truth and goodness, but ultimately that last bit, which is beauty, needs to be reconciled somehow. Some reconcile it through preeminence. I have lots of status in the marketplace. Some reconcile it through contracts or something, or legalities, or risk reversal guarantees. I would argue that they're ultimately making a decision to say yes to you. I'll take a step here that maybe you got to follow, okay? Follow with me here. They are taking a step to say yes to you to soothe their soul, okay? Whatever offer it is, whatever is happening in the marketplace, yes, truth, yes, goodness, all this stuff. But beauty, what is that getting at? It's making a decision. It's saying yes. What moves the hearts of people? That moves mountains, where I was once this person and now I'm this person. I once was not aware of your offer and now I am. What does that move there? It's ultimately, it's beauty. It's, how is this going to benefit my life? Yes. How's it going to make me more money? Yes. But what are those things getting at? Why do I want to benefit my life? Why do I want to make more money? What are those things? It's to soothe my soul. It's to give me alignment, to give me structure, to give me peace. You see this all over the place. I was talking to a couple SaaS founders. They've got millions raised for their companies. Lots of revenue, top line. Very low margins, but massive growth, lots of traction, lots of noise. But when after 3 or 4 drinks in, not the electrolyte drinks, I mean like alcoholic drinks in, on a late evening, they really are just kind of tired, or they really want peace. You know, take it from me. I have a front row seat to talking with these individuals all the time. They really want their souls to be soothed. And I believe that people say yes to things and no to things based off of beauty. Okay? So if that's the case, electrolytes, lead with beauty. Okay? Now, why does taste even exist? Okay? I'm alluding to this a little bit. I'm thinking of my own sensory experience, my taste, what I'm curating, my constant devotion to what I like, what I don't like, being strict about it, being dogmatic about it, being hard-headed about it, okay? Leaning into that like with so much conviction, because I know what I like, I know what I dislike, and I know why I like it, and I know why I dislike it. Why does that even exist, and how does that get you on like the cutting edge of marketing, right? Well, I've already alluded to it. For me, it's to soothe my soul. It's to soothe my sensory environment. Okay? And I go back to when I was 12 years old listening to Led Zeppelin on the bus. Where was I driving to? I was driving to school. Nobody wants to go to school. At least I didn't. Where was I driving to on the way back? Home. I have to do my homework there, and like, I didn't, like, it was hit or miss for my home environment. Like, you know what I mean? So there's a lot there when school and home and all this stuff. But in between school and home, I'm listening in my earbuds or whatever they were, and to my iPod, all these sounds and music. Why? Because I'm soothing myself. I want to create my own world. I want to curate my taste. I would remember downloading things off of LimeWire, putting them. Oh yeah, that's illegal. I don't think you're allowed to do that. Put them on my iPod and just get on the bus and listen to this stuff. Zeppelin, Iron Maiden. You know what was going on there? Okay, the Shins, kind of the Clash. You know what's going on there? Rage Against the Machine. Okay, what's going on there? Postal Service. What's going on there? Right? All of these different bands or artists. Suicide Silence, like what? That's all aggressive. And then like Sigur Rós, right? It's just all over the map. What am I doing? I'm searching for what I like and dislike. Why do I like it? Why do I dislike it? It's to soothe my senses, basically. It's my sensory overload, which led me to an incredible career in the music production world. I know what I like, I know what I dislike, and as I was listening to that music, I wish I could control the sound, panning things. I wish I could bring things up, right? What is that? Am I just geeking out? No. I'm trying to soothe. I'm trying to curate my taste. I'm trying to develop a sensory experience that feels good to me. It's a search and a quest for a comfortable sensory environment for me, okay? It's so important to be in touch with those things, bring awareness to those things. It leads to an ultimately successful endeavor as well in the business world. I know what websites look good. I know what websites don't look good. It goes deeper. I know what people like. I know what people don't like. Okay? This sensory experience, this search for my taste, is essentially coming from soothing my sensory environment. Okay? Now, got a few more minutes here. Taste. I've been pretty esoteric about it. I've been a little bit mechanical about it. I've been personal about it. But how in the world does this translate to the market? Okay? Like, how are you rewarded in the marketplace for your taste? Well, people okay, you think about it this way, okay? And again, I'm just a voice piece for all of these businesses that I work with, okay? I'm producing them. I'm getting the best takes out of them. I'm making sure they're thriving. I want them to make eight figures a year, not 7 figures a year. I want them to make 7 figures a year, not 6 figures a year. And I don't want to be utilitarian about it. I want to curate the beauty inside them so that there's more leverage there and they can just shoot off to the moon, right? The people that are crushing it, I'm telling you, if I dropped some of these names and these brands, you'd be like, oh my goodness, you're working with that person or these people? Yes, it's, why are they crushing it? Because they have taste and I have taste. Is it the same? No. But a combination of their taste and my taste is magic, okay? Because what I'm seeing in them is a misalignment with how they're curating their taste in their business and in the marketplace, okay? I'm able to see what their taste is, what they are soothing themselves with, what is in alignment with them, what is not in alignment with them. And I guarantee you, it's not the truth and goodness of their business or offer, it's the beauty. How does it make them feel when they interact with it on a daily basis? I figure out what in the world is that for them. Remove all of the barriers and frankly, detoxing them from the garbage marketing space that everybody's in and going, do you have any originality? Do you have any taste? Do you know what you like? Do you know what you dislike? And I'm telling you, the people that are making nothing and the people that are making millions and billions, they know what they like, they know what they dislike, and they stick to it. And they've developed a taste, okay? The people here are not making much of anything. Honestly, they're just regurgitating things from people that are around them or things that they've read or experienced or whatever of other people who don't have taste. And they just kind of constantly are a talking head or regurgitating these things that they've heard. But they don't know what they like or dislike. They're just like being discipled by TikTok or being discipled by Reels or being discipled by all this marketing crap, right? Well, that's good. That's bad, or that I think that's good, or that person has a certain way of doing it. So you see the Reels, the Shorts, it all kind of looks the same, right? Why is that? Because they think that's how it works. They think that there's goodness there, there's truth there, but I would argue it's because they have no taste, no originality, no conviction, no knowing what you like or dislike, no taste at all. It's a certain style that they're trying to copy, okay? You've already lost in the marketing world if that's how you do things, okay? Yes, there's first principles and best practices in order to go about things and make some money and do all this stuff. Absolutely. You gotta, again, the truth and goodness, you gotta get people in, right? The narthex of the sanctuary. But if you want to make some substantial change and change somebody's whole entire world and make billions of dollars, you got to move to the beauty. You got to know what your taste is. So get with it, right? Now, knowing what your taste is, sticking to it is one thing. But knowing what the market likes and knowing how they will receive it is another, okay? So this is a spectrum here. You have to be aware, one, of your taste. What is it? Do you think things are good or bad or in between? Do you know what you like? Do you know what you dislike? Are you constantly on a search for taste, a quest for taste, curating that taste in every avenue of your life? Are you doing that? Okay? I would encourage you. Are you doing that? If not, do it, okay? That's one move I would make. Once you know your taste and you know what you like and you know what you dislike, and you know that your conviction is built around that and that you're going to do nothing to compromise on your taste, okay? Once you know that, you now can switch on to the idea that other people in this world also might have taste, okay? And it's your job to be in tune with what the market and what their taste is, okay? And you see this go absolutely in the opposite direction, where you go, what does the market want? Okay? And you approach it from a mechanical, pragmatic goodness and truth thing, which is, what's the problem to be solved? What does everybody want? Everybody wants more money, or everybody wants more sales, or there's a big, massive opportunity over here to create like a community, and like, I want to charge this much for this thing, and I want to curate an audience that goes to my community, and lots of people are doing these high price done for you offers, and there's a massive need for the education space. There's a massive need for whatever, I don't know. It's going market first. Look at the market, look at the market, look at the market. Okay, fine. That's goodness and that's truth. It's the narthex of the sanctuary. You got to figure out what people are like wake up and smell the roses, right? Or put your ear to the ground. Okay, I'm using sensory terms here. What are people thinking and feeling? Look, I get it. But if you curate your entire offer, your entire presence, your entire being, everything just to them, you will die inside. It'll be short-term growth and then you'll fizzle off, okay? If you curate your own taste with beauty and figure out what that is, what you like, what you dislike, and develop that conviction and stick to it, you can sort of look to the skies and go, what's the market doing? What do they want? And what you'll find is what they want is these pragmatic frameworks, this money, all the primal, human instincts, more money, more time, low churn, higher lifetime value of a customer, more enjoyment, more alignment, all these things. That's the narthex. That's the truth and goodness. Yes, speak to them. But what do they really want? And that's beauty. What is that thing? And again, I'm giving you the tools here. The secret is they want to soothe their souls. That's really what they want. Peace. They want that inner peace. I'm not going to go on a rant right now about the cosmic injustice that has been perpetuated for thousands of years of why that is and how that dates back to how our Creator created us. I'm not going to get into that, although I might at another time. But if you know what they ultimately want deep down in their souls, instead of just selling the sizzle and to get the steak, or instead of just leading with goodness and truth to get them in the narthex, you can put beauty on full display and lead from that, okay? You can just bring that in. Now, I'll go back to this old air-cooled Porsche, okay? My 5.5-year-old son showed up with my wife, pulled up in their car, and we're going to meet up for dinner. And I'm looking at this air-cooled thing. No, but only full well I've got this more modern Porsche, okay? What does he want to do? He wants to get in and sit in the front seat. He's not going to read and that's exactly what he did, by the way. He's not going to pull the Porsche, what is it? Certificate of whatever, authenticity. He's not going to go through the what work was done on it. He's not going to see the sticker price. He's not going to see the value there. He's not going to go, okay, is this an updated sound system? Is it not? Okay. He's not going to get into all the stuff I like. He's going to sit in the front seat and go, cool. And the thing he asked me is this fast? Or how old is this? Is this faster than your car? These are the things that people want to feel. And he's dead on. It's leading with beauty. That's what it is. He also does karate. I do karate as well. I remember telling him about karate, how much it changed my life, how I think it'd be cool for him, how discipline is a very useful thing in his life, how he could be stronger than other kids, all these silly things, right? But one of our senseis, that I've known for 30 years, he basically completely obliterated me when he said, just put your black belt on, get into class, and have him sit in the back seat. That's all you need to do. Or the back seat, the back of the class, right? As soon as he sees dad puts his belt on, I guarantee that's all you'll need to do. You're leading with beauty, okay? That's what you're moving towards. Same is true with the market is, how is your audience, what are they feeling and thinking? You could spar with them, punch them in the face, tell them that there's this crazy and stupid offer and money, time, all this stuff. Or you can be so in touch with what they actually want and you just lead with that, okay? It starts, however, with knowing full well what your taste is, sticking to it, curating that taste, leading with that, not giving a crap about how it comes across at first, okay? This is who I am, this is my taste, this is my style, this is what I love, and having your entire business curated to your taste. If you are somebody of taste, or you somebody who cares deeply about these things, you go full on, this is what I like, this is what I dislike, and the conviction alone will win people over. Because at the very least, everybody will just subscribe to your taste and go, that's it. She's got my taste. He's got my taste. I love the way this feels. I want this offer. It's just attractional, okay? Now, that's half of it. Imagine if you can empower the other person to go, it's not that you like my taste. It's that you like that I have taste. Do you have taste? I'm going to help, and this is my mission, right? I'm going to help you curate your taste, okay? But I'll toot my own horn a little bit. I have a unique ability to find that, know my taste. What do I like? What do I dislike? Okay. The entrepreneurs and founders that I work with that got, hundreds of employees or no employees, everything in between. What do they like? What is their taste? What do you like? What do you dislike? What is that thing? Going deeper and going, why does your taste exist? What is curated this sensory soothing environment for you? Why is that there? Finding the root of that, putting that on full display and moving with ultimate leverage to basically get them to see a vision that they can't see for themselves, but I can see, okay? And I get them to see it and curate their taste so that they can run towards it and make tons of money doing it, okay? I'll toot my own horn here. I also have a unique ability to know how the market is going to respond to that move, okay? Because I'm a monk, okay? I don't watch TV or do any of that stuff, right? I couldn't care less about blowing up my YouTube channel or perpetuating a synthetic economy of regurgitating my offer or anything like this. I don't care. I care about the business owners that I'm working with. Okay. But following a path of curating what I like, what I dislike, being convinced of what those things are, curating my taste, it allows me to be aware of what the market wants and what the market's doing. And the sweet spot is when I look up every once in a while and I listen to the top 10 Spotify playlist stuff, or I look up every once in a while and see what other marketers are doing, or I look up every once in a while and going, what do people want? What do people feel? What do they need? I sort of have a sense of, okay, with this entrepreneur and their taste and curating this and running with this, the market is about 2 years delayed from what this person's experiencing. They're not ready to feel that and hear that. Why? Because ultimately they want what this person has, but they're too caught up in the goodness and truth of all this other stuff, okay? So I have, I guess, a unique ability to take that taste, bend it to the market a little bit, to bring them into the Narthex, to go, what is the language they're speaking? What are they dealing with? But what do they ultimately need and want, right? You have that. You can just present that to them. You can start speaking their language. I mean, this is true marketing, right? But as you are speaking their language with goodness and truth, with clear articulation of what the offer is, how you can communicate the value, the price, all that stuff. You're doing it in a way that stylistically, you're soothing their soul because you're leading from a place of beauty. I don't mean that you flip all the architecture of the churches and you put the sanctuary first and then leave the narthex to the back. That's not what I'm saying at all. It's that you're building the entire church around the beauty of the sanctuary, of the altar, right? You're building the entire Carnegie Hall around the front and center person who's there. I remember seeing multiple times sold out shows from Ryan Adams. Just him and a microphone, a couple microphones, he's on piano and guitar, nobody else, right? That's why Carnegie Hall was created, so that Ryan could sit there and do his thing, and then we could all experience it, right? It's like he's sitting in his living room, talking to us, singing to us. That's what Carnegie Hall is all about. And from that, you have the narthex or the lobby, right? Where you get people in. You still have the building. You still do all of that. But what are they leading from? They're leading from getting people to experience Ryan on stage there, okay? That's really what it is, or a great orchestra or whatever it may be. Your unique ability to know your taste, know what you like, know what you dislike, stick to that, not give a crap about what the market thinks, and just dialing that in, while simultaneously being sensitive and empathetic to where the market is, knowing that they're just in the truth and goodness world, but deep down they want beauty. Deep down they want to be the 5-year-old jumping into the leather seats going, is this fast? Knowing that, you have a unique experience now. You have a unique ability to go, I'm going to lead with beauty. I want to bring them into the front seat. I want to get them to smell the interior. They got to feel it and they got to see it. Is this what you want? Is this what you feel, right? This is a taste that I've acquired, you know? And yeah, it's going to take 2 years for your Porsche to be done. I'm thinking of like the Singer custom Porsche factory. I'm all about Porsches now. It's going to take 2 years. But the craftsmanship is going to be insane. And then when it's done, you can sell the car for $2 million. That's what I mean. A line out the door. Referral only. No advertising. Why? Because you have taste. Think about business. It's cost to acquire a customer and then lifetime value of a customer. That's it. Can you get your cost to acquire to a customer to be as close to zero as possible? Can you get your lifetime value of a customer to be as high as possible? That's all of business, okay? That's it. So what is that? It's essentially having something so good that people just refer people all the time. They want to go closer, right? They want to work deeper. It's the Singer Porsche factory thing. It's, hey, like, bring your air-cooled Porsche here. We'll do our thing. We have our taste. We'll work with you to work on how you want it to look. But ultimately, you're saying yes to us because you like our taste. It's going to take like 3 or 4 years for your Porsche to be done. Are you cool with that? Yeah. It's also going to be $1 million. Are you cool with that? Yeah. You think they're doing Facebook ads to get their name out there? Are you kidding me? They have a taste, and they're fixated on that taste. And they know what the market wants, and they know how to speak to them. And their marketing initiatives speak for themselves. Bridging the gap between your taste and what the market wants and how ready they are for you, that's business, okay? Having a keen sense of what those things are will basically get you 100% to the next level. It's, again, I think some of these SaaS founders I speak to, I mean, people doing like multiple millions a month in top line revenue, or at least in brand equity or in asset value. I'm not going to get into all the work here, but I'll just tell you this. What they all are experiencing right now, just from what I'm seeing, having a front row seat to working with them, they just want to soothe their soul. That's really all they want. They don't ultimately want more money or more time or to build a bigger business. I think that's the goodness and truth. That's the narthex. They just want their soul to be soothed. So like with our ecosystem in college, I'm trying to do everything I can to when you experience it or come into our ecosystem, it's like you're entering into the sanctuary. It's I think of my time in New York City, where it's a busy street in Midtown, but you walk into a church, somehow the whole world goes silent. Somehow it's just you, right? And it's just the beauty of things. It soothes your soul. That's really what it's getting at. I want people to plug into our college ecosystem, for example, and feel like, I can breathe. I'm soothing my soul. Whether you're a billion-dollar founder with a publicly traded company that I'm working with, or somebody who just doesn't know left from right, and everybody in between, the through line there is soothing your soul. And somehow I've tapped into this, and somehow I've allowed them to see this. And I think leading with beauty through your curated taste and being convinced about this is the way, okay? Now, I guess I'll wrap up here with that, which is knowing that taste. Do you have a taste? Do you know what your taste is? Do you know what you like? Do you know what you dislike? Do you know what the market likes and dislikes? Are you somebody of depth who wants to go deeper? I would venture to say this. Look at all of your favorite brands, your favorite founders, the people that are crushing it. I mean, 7, 8 figures at least, right? Or publicly traded billions and billions of dollars. I'll bet on this. They have taste. And I don't mean good taste or bad taste. They have taste. They have a way of soothing themselves. They have a way of doing things. And I'm telling you, it's taste. Whether it's Apple having the taste of this minimalistic thing, whether it's the Cybertruck that I can't stop looking at, brutalist, utilitarian, kind of retro-futuristic, hard-lined 80s punk thing, it's getting at something. It's a taste. Or an unknown billionaire who doesn't have a LinkedIn profile, and their profile picture is a pineapple. I'm literally thinking of one individual in particular, and they're worth billions. That's their taste. Thinking of Mark Cuban, I think in his LinkedIn profile it just says president with no. It's like 40 years president. President of what? I mean, the guy's a killer, right? In business. And I'm thinking also as well as the people who have a big following, lots of followers, right? Tons of curated content, all of this stuff. I would say that the new economy now in the marketing space is those people are making a lot of noise. Okay? Just be careful. Is there beauty there? Is there substance? Are they leading with beauty? Or are they just marketing? And that's it. Okay? I'm telling you, the real killers, the folks that I just a lovely experience working with, I'm seeing the difference. People over here, doesn't know left or right, they don't have any taste. People over here crushing it, billion-dollar companies, publicly traded, they have taste. And it's my job not to say, oh, they have good taste, they have bad taste. No. They have taste. They know what they like, they know what they dislike, and they understand how it relates to the market and the timing and articulating all of the essence in between. Moving into that space makes them billions of dollars, okay? So there you go. There's the secret handbook. Taste, all right? I don't know what I'm going to name this video. I'll figure it out later. I got to jump on a call soon with those 7, 8 figure entrepreneurs and talk to them about taste. And it's funny. I'm drinking this electrolyte water. I love the taste of this. I don't know why. All right. See you in the next one.